and thank you for watching Kaluna Creations. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to make a cushion cover, rather like this one. It's also got a zip down the side so that you can easily open it, take out the middle and pop it in the wash. Now although it has got a zip, it is still a tutorial for beginners. I will show you exactly how to put that in, alright? So there's nothing to be afraid of. Now if you are a complete beginner, I have done a separate little video up here just to show you what equipment that you're going to be needing. If you are watching on a phone though, I'm not sure that that link works, so in which case if you go to my how to make funky fabric items playlist, it is in there, alright. Now I'm going to be using old exhibition fabric like normal, but if you want to use pretty much any old fabric for this project, so old clothes, curtains, duvet sets, anything like that, literally you can use whatever fabric you like for this tutorial, alright. So if you like to keep watching, I will tell you what fabric measurements you're going to be needing. Now you've got two options for the fabric measurements on this one. You can either do it as two squares or you can do it as one long rectangle. It doesn't really matter either way. In this video I will be doing it as the long rectangle, but I will talk you through how to do it as two squares just in case you don't have that length available to do that, alright. Now unfortunately I went ahead and sewed all this, forgetting to actually show you what it looked like before. So you're just going to have to trust me on this one. So if you are doing it as two separate squares, it is 45 centimetres this way and then 45 centimetres down the other way, alright. But this one originally was folded in half and it was 45 centimetres down the short side and then 90 centimetres down the long side, alright. And then the zip that we're using for it as well is 38 centimetres long. That's it. Now firstly, apologies for not being able to fit the whole piece of fabric in. Unfortunately I can't get the camera quite far enough away, but hopefully you'll be able to get the gist anyway. So what I like to do first is just work out which way up the fabric's going to be going. Now it's a lot easier for me because I've got one long continuous piece of fabric, so I can simply just fold this over and I know that that is how it's going to be. But if you have got two separate pieces, then obviously just put the one piece down and then put the other one on top, and then you'll know that you're going to be sewing it all the right way round. Now we've worked out which way up we want it, that'll tell us where we're going to be putting our zip. So in this case it's going to be down this side, so I'll turn it around, make it easier for you to see. So yes, we're going to be putting it along this side because my fold is on the other side. So the first job is peel this back, get your zip so that the actual pull is facing that way, so facing down onto the fabric, and simply just go along the edge with your clips or your pins, whichever you're choosing to use. Put it along a few places like that, so that roughly you've got the same amount of fabric on this end as we have on this end. It doesn't have to be exact, but roughly about that amount on each end. Now what we're going to do is go forwards backwards here just to reinforce it, then sew all the way along here, and then when we get to here you're going to struggle a little bit because this bit is a bit too chunky to get past our needle. So all you need to do is lift up the presser foot, pull the zip a little bit further down just to get it out of the way, and then you can put your presser foot back down and just continue sewing to the end, and then just go forwards backwards here. So I'll just go put that line of stitching in and then I'll bring it back to show you what to do next. So that's our first line of stitching in. It's a bit hard to see because I've made it the same colour as the zip, but you can just about make it out there. So if we place that down, and in my case I'm going to be folding this over, but in your case if you've got two separate bits, then literally just go fetch that second piece. And what we're going to do is fold this front ways like that, so that it's sticking out a bit more. So like that. And then we're going to place our other piece of fabric on top like that, making sure that you're lining up on the bottom with your original piece. And then all we're going to do again is just clip these together, just in a few places. Like so. And again, when we get to this bit here with our pulley bit, just leave the needle in, lift the presser foot up, pull it down, and then you can do that again. So you can just about see there, that's all I've done. Make sure when you are sewing though, you've pulled your original line of stitching back so that you don't actually accidentally catch that bit. We don't want to be sewing both of those bits together. So go forwards, backwards, all the way along, get to the end, forwards, backwards, and then I'll bring it back just to show you what to do next. And there we go. Our second line of stitching is in. So now our fabric is joined together with our zip. Now the next thing we want to do is open up your zip to about halfway. I'm saying to do this now just because if we forget, then we're not going to be able to get into our bag, or a cushion cover even. So it's really important that we do this now. Now if you have got two separate pieces of fabric, your next job is to put in a line of stitching along the bottom here to hold the two pieces of fabric together. Now because I've got a folded piece of fabric, I don't need to do that stage, but if you do have the two bits, then just stitch those two bits together. And then once you've done that, you can join me and we're going to stitch down the sides. So down this one, going forwards, backwards at the start and finish, and then same again on this side. There we go. Another line of stitching in on both sides. So next job is just to tidy up this bit up here. So what we're going to do is put in a line of stitching slightly ahead of this line so that we're hiding the start of our zip. So we're going to go along here and then up to around about an inch in front of where your stitching starts, and then just go forwards, backwards here. And then we want to do exactly the same on this side. So all the way here to about an inch in front of your line of stitching, but only a couple of millimeters in front of this line. So we want to be going like that along here and then stopping here. So I'll go and do that and then I can show you it, and hopefully that'll make a little bit more sense. Okay, so hopefully this makes a bit more sense now. So I've put in that line of stitching with the forward back at the start, and then I've gone in about an inch further than the zip stitching, but only about a millimetre or so further in. And I've done that on both sides. So that just means that all of the zip casing-y bit gets hidden. So once you've done that, all you need to do is chop the corners. So this just means it's a little bit easier to turn out. So do that side. Being careful not to actually cut your stitching, because we don't want it all unraveling. And last one over here. Okay, so pop your hand in where your hole of your zip was, turn it all out, and when you get to the corner, just put your finger in, or you can use a tapestry needle just because those aren't quite so sharp. They shouldn't make any holes in your fabric. It's not quite as crucial for a cushion cover. And then do the last one. Almost there. There we go. And then just zip it shut. Like that. Ta-da! And there we go. One very funky cushion cover, complete with zip. Oh, except it's not very padded, is it? So what you need to do is have a nice little cushion on the inside. Now obviously you can go out and buy these, that's absolutely fine, but you have got other options. If you've got an old pillow lying around your house that you're not using anymore, I would definitely recommend you wash it first, but after you've washed it, you can always use that as your cushion inside. Or if you don't have any old pillows, what you can do is get all your scrap fabric and sew them together to make the right shape and make your own little envelope and literally fill it with the scraps of fabric from your other projects. Now if you're doing it that way, you might find that they are a little bit heavy and they don't squish particularly very well. So I would recommend you also add in at the same time some old carrier bags. This is nice and lightweight and it's nice and squidgy, and as long as you don't mind it being a bit crunchy, it does the job really, really well. So you can mix in a few carrier bags with your scrap fabric, pads it out real lovely. And then instead of putting in a zip with your inner piece, literally just sew it shut. There's no need to put in a zip there. So you could also, I should probably mention, just use carrier bags to fill it. That does the job as well. You don't have to use old scraps of fabric, but I find that's a nice little use for them. Hopefully you did enjoy doing this tutorial. If you did, then please do like and subscribe. That way, every time I put on a new video, it might inspire you to turn some of your other old fabric into something new. Hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye!